Being a perfect 10, you would think that WWE would just be pushing you to the moon, but that's not the case for the former Gavin Spears. Despite stellar matches in NXT, getting over with fans and receiving training from a Hart, a Von Erich, and Eric Young among others, Ronald R. Neal would announce that he had asked for his release from World Wrestling Entertainment on his 38th birthday. But this all begs the question, how did things get to this point? Whatever happened to the Canadian sensation? So without further ado, here are 10 reasons why WWE might not have pushed Tye Dillinger. Too soon. Even though R. Neal signed with WWE in 2006 under Ohio Valley Wrestling and then re-signed with the company to join NXT in 2013, the Perfect Ten Tye DIllinger really didn't start gaining any attention until 2015. And while that still left plenty of time to help grow his character, booking never really seemed to establish him as a top guy in NXT before he was called up, which made things all the more surprising when he actually was. But then afterwards, Tye was seemingly stuck in limbo for over 2 months before he finally got a program to work on SmackDown. Losing battle. Let's also not forget that his time in NXT really wasn't all that much better, as Tye has never even won a single takeover match, losing to the likes of Baron Corbin, Apollo Crews, as well as Eric Young and Sanity. And with all of those wrestlers not even being pushed on the main roster, what chance did Tye Dillinger ever really have? In fact, his win ratio is so low that when you look at all of his televised matches combining NXT and WWE main roster together, it's only at about 25%. And while there are those who allegedly claim that wins and losses don't matter, losing can be a slippery slope. And once it starts snowballing out of control, sometimes it just never ever stops. What's the skinny? Standing at 6'3" but only weighing in at 223 pounds, Dillinger may be in great shape but lacks the mass the WWE tends to favor. And as such, he has been used as more of a pushover rather than getting pushed. Tye Dillinger has suffered as a punching bag for the likes of Randy Orton, Samoa Joe, and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And while getting ambushed or punked out does happen to even the best from time to time, it's not something to make a habit out of, especially when you never get the chance to return the favor. Now yes, Tye did get to start off with the advantage against Baron Corbin, however the former constable was the one who ended up getting the last laugh. Getting repeatedly beat up and playing the victim is no way to get to the top of the WWE food chain, and because of Tye's frame, booking may just see him and his ability to get sympathy from the crowd as means to get heat on some major heels at the expense of Tye Dillinger's own career. Age before beauty. With Dillinger announcing that his birthday present to himself was asking to leave WWE, it does remind us that he is not the young upstart that many people believe him to be. And while there is older talent than Tye doing well on the main roster, Dillinger is a little too old to be a fresh-faced newcomer. Wrestlers who are of a similar age to Dillinger who aren't getting their top-tier pushes at least have mid-card title wins or have made a presence for themselves in big-name companies outside of WWE, where Dillinger really doesn't have any of the same credentials. And sadly, he was looking to get his first taste of WWE Gold when he was almost 40. Extreme disappointment. Before exiting the company for the first time, Tye wrestled for WWE's version of ECW. And while that brand had its own small following, for the most part, it just left a bad taste in the mouths of many. And in the years since, WWE has not been all that forgiving about their time attempting to go to the extreme. Wrestlers that cut their teeth in their former brand have not fared all that well overall. Sure, CM Punk did win the WWE title, but even Bobby Lashley has only managed to go to the mid-card since the third brand came to a close. WWE ECW may be in Dillinger's past, but it might have also cost him his future as well. Why so serious? Comedy goes a long way in professional wrestling, but it can only go so far in WWE. And unfortunately for Tye, around the same time when his shtick would have gotten him over, it also happened to be the wrong day. Rusev Day. Rusev and in English's Rusev Day gimmick got over much more than anyone expected, and as such, WWE only had so much room allotted for a goofy comedy act. Sure, in the past, WWE had multiple humorous characters that were over with the crowd, and the company did quite well for themselves during that time period. However, in the years since, WWE has seemingly shied away from having a full roster of memorable, noteworthy characters, which is too bad for Tye because that kind of booking could have done really well for him and kept him on TV. Decimation. Speaking of his gimmick, Tye was criticized for needing a personality throughout the early days of his career, but then upon separating from Jason Jordan during their bland tag team run, Dillinger managed to find his character with the Perfect 10 gimmick. This got over with fans in a big way, by far making up for his so-so mic skills. Unfortunately though, this did him no favors with management, and as much as you would think that WWE would welcome a wrestler who gets themselves over, there is little to no proof of that being so. And for Tye in particular, it has been reported that WWE's upper brass just hates the audience chanting 10, viewing it as similar to the yes chant or the what chant, and so in order to minimize fans from engaging too much with their product, because that's somehow a bad thing in the minds of WWE, they decided to punish Tye by leaving him off television. Tye even tried going heel at house shows, telling the audience that he was the only Perfect 10 and that they shouldn't be chanting. However, this apparently didn't work either. Idle chatter. Another possible point holding Tye Dillinger back could be that he suffers from the same shortcoming as many wrestlers do in the modern era, where he's not as good on the mic as he is in the ring, with a more reserved and drier inflection that doesn't quite express big emotions or convey his natural cleverness. Tye is a rare breed where he's able to get over without even talking, but sadly in today's WWE, that doesn't appear to be a skill that they value in any way. Tweeting is for the birds. Having an active social media presence is something that WWE wrestlers are expected to have. However, they are also expected to watch their words, something that Tye hasn't always done so well. Most recently, when WWE posted a tweet saying that women brought in 2018 showing various women in the company, Nia Jax responded by pointing out that there were no women of color featured in the image. Dillinger responded by saying that if she was upset about being left off the list despite being on TV all year long, then he suggests that she spend more time on her craft rather than on social media. And while there are many who would agree with Tye, WWE does have a history of taking Nia Jax's side over that of others. Going further back, Dillinger was also involved in making a rape joke tweet in 2011. Now, Tye has apologized for his remarks, but also remember that this is not something that WWE takes very lightly, just as former primetime players manager AEW. And in today's climate of sensitivity, WWE may not want certain digital skeletons to come out. Closed mouths. Continuing with Tye's tweet to Nia Jax, Dillinger seems to take his own advice, but maybe just a little too well, as he is not known to be much of a complainer backstage. There is an old adage that closed mouths don't get fed, with wrestlers who are known to be vocal about their pushes tending to get their way more often than those who don't. His Perfect 10 gimmick was even created because he was voicing his frustration with friends of his outside of the industry instead of talking with creative. And while complaining too much might make you unlikable, not speaking up enough and just working on yourself sometimes makes it seem like the onus is on you and not management. It's a very fine line to walk, but sometimes you have to put just the right amount of pressure on booking just so you're not forgotten. Hopefully Tye Dillinger can turn it all around. He is phenomenal in the ring, can get himself over without using words, and has the ability to get crowd sympathy on his side. And no matter where Tye Dillinger ends up in the future, his fans know that the numbers don't lie and he'll always be both number 1 and a perfect 10. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you like, share, and subscribe right here to Dave Knows Wrestling, and if you want to give me some support just like Richard Lee, The Woos, and Jesus Farrow, then go over to my Patreon page. I really do appreciate any support you have to give. Thanks again for watching, and as always, Dave Knows.